So it turns out that Reddit have decided to ban the term groomer. So, I mean, like if there was a Crofts Reddit or something, so any sort of show jumping Reddits or anything like that, too bad, because that's gone. Because it turned out that the right realized that actually what the left has been doing is kind of grooming children into its political ideology and to really kind of divorce them and despoil any kind of innocence they may have had as being children. And this, well, they reflected that remark. They represented that remark, and so it had to go. But before we start, if you want support us, you go to the Lotus.com book club and check out our new book club about Michael Knowles' Speechless. Now, it was Harry and Connor who did this, and they had nothing but very, very good things to say about it, because Michael Knowles has actually he's not just been like, free speech good, right? It's like, obviously free speech good. But he's also gone underneath the hood to start talking about the philosophical roots of everything that's going on. I won't spoil any of it, but it's very, very good. Anyway, moving on. Let's begin with, what does groomer mean? Well, Urban Dictionary actually has a great definition of it. There are lots of definitions of this, but the Urban Dictionary one pretty much is the best one. A groomer is someone who builds a relationship, trust, and emotional connection with the child or young person so they can manipulate, exploit, and abuse them. Yeah. That's really good.
That's why we call them grooming gangs.
Yeah. And this is exactly what left-wing political activists have been doing in schools, on the internet, and anywhere else they can get their grubby hands on children. I mean, for example, you can notice the 4,000% increase in transgender people and children referred to for transgender treatments to Tavistock, which, let's be fair, probably not like natural, organic.
No, perfectly natural.
Pretty well.
It's not like the media are endlessly promoting this.
Yes.
It's not like every kid's show
and
is trying to push this on kids.
One of the things that I've noticed from my own children is that they'll say that it's being treated by like the power structures in the schools as if it's trendy. It's like, really, it's trendy, is it?
Yeah.
Like, look at it. Like, is that trendy? And anyway,
well, they never read the regret stories.
No,
so.
But it's not even that. It's like, is that cool though? Or is it cool to be like a Giga Chad? I would have said the opposite. Anyway, but yeah, so this massive increase, 4,000% in 10 years. Some educationalists have previously warned that the promotion of transgender issues in schools has sown confusion in children's minds, and encouraging children to question gender has become an industry. And so the question is, well, why would they be doing this? It's like, well, power, obviously. Political power. If you go to the next one, like this is human rights campaigning. This is a Democrat organization. But you can see that this is the continuing fight for equality. Together, we elected Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We're going to pass the Equality Act through Congress and ensure protections for LGBTQ people nationwide. So this is political power. That's what they're getting from this. They expressly say that they're getting political power from this. And of course, they're getting money from this. Loads of money. Give us your money. Look, here's 15 organizations that you can donate.
The Republicans will put you all in camps, give us money, and they won't.
Exactly. So political
Just
power.
Just give us $3 and I will stop the camps.
Money. And also a form of social capital, which is really strange, such as, the Drag Queen Story Hour, as Leo's put here. This article talking about it is a good summary he's got here. Drag Queen Story Hour UK has claimed that far-right neo-Nazi groups are disrupting its tour of primary schools. Mate, that Nazi group is Mumsnet. But he's not wrong. But the point is, what kind of person wants to dress up as a drag queen in front of children and read them stories? So, I mean, what I'm going to call social capital is
kind mum. Sorry, it's just the imagery of a bunch of British mums being Nazis is ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. But the point is, like, the question is, why? What is this person getting out of doing this to children? Now, it's I'm not going to say that they're all people with suspect designs on children and their sexuality, but a lot of them are, which is why
it takes us a lot.
yeah, it's always the people you most suspect. But this is why Florida's anti-grooming bill was necessary. This is a great article by the Washington Examiner, and they say one group of activists. This is exactly the reason why this has to be done. One group of activists hosted a sexual education summer camp for children in Kentucky last year called Sexy Sex Ed Camp, which featured workshops on gender exploration, BDSM, being a sex worker, self-managed abortions, and sexual activity while using illicit drugs. So I'm not saying it's all about money, power, influence. I think there's a significant cohort within this organization that want to diddle kids.
Have your kids had an opportunity to explore condoms? Why would they? They're kids.
Yes, no, my children haven't, you disgusting paedophile. Why are you asking them, is the question, isn't it?
It takes repetition before kids master the knowledge. This means they should have many exposures to condoms. What? Is this illegal? Like, this must be illegal, surely.
One of the camp's organisers, Tanya Turner, has bragged about working with school systems as she says she tries to find ways to include her curriculum in the classroom setting. This curriculum presumably includes her belief that children of all ages, including toddlers, should be encouraged to masturbate. She believes that toddlers masturbate. They don't. Toddlers do not masturbate.
Hang on. But, like, you can't... So, they must know.
What, that these are a bunch of weird pervs who just want to diddle your kids? It's not rocket science.
I mean, literally, tap, tap, tap.
Yeah, it's the meme of the wolf with the rouge on the cheeks being like, I just want to educate your chickens. But anyway, so they were complaining that this has been weaponized. Rightly so. It's like, you can't say that we're groomers. It's like, well, you just really look like groomers.
So I said I wanted to kill everyone, and everyone like started using that to say I was a bad guy. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I love this article from NBC News. The most prominent slurs center on accusations that LGBT people and their allies are pedophiles, using the word grooming, which the term has been weaponized online, and it now appears almost constantly on many social media platforms. Well done, lads. Keep saying it. Keep using it. If they're grooming kids, you should be able to call that out.
Yep. Use it appropriately.
Yep, use it appropriately. Data from the social media platform Reddit, analysed by Jeremy Blackburn, an assistant professor at computer science at Binghamton University, found that 100% increase since the beginning of the year of discussion of grooming in conjunction with various LGBTQ slurs. Excellent. The majority of subreddits that are adopting the rhetoric have a pretty long history of content moderation concerns and are definitely not what I would consider LGBTQ friendly. Well, that's good.
We're going to have to start calling it the G word.
Well, yeah. Well, that's actually probably what's going to happen. While it's not exactly surprising to me that the rhetoric has been adopted, I am somewhat surprised the rhetoric was so quickly adopted. And he is right that this blazed across the right-wing ecosphere like wildfire, but that's because it was accurate. And it applied.
An overabundance, even, of evidence of people doing this.
It's just everywhere.
Claiming that they were allowed to do it because, well, it's LGBT month. I was like,
therefore,
okay.
I need to dance naked in front of your children while simulating a sex act. And if you don't like that, you're a homophobe.
Could you imagine standing there with like Biden's executive order on Pride Month? Just be like, look, it says right there.
Yeah, exactly. And so Reddit was like, okay, yeah, that's a good point. We need to ban this word because this is basically the new N-word for gays. Reddit banned it because under its hate speech policy, as well as any reference to LGBTQ people as pedophiles. So now even those who are actual pedophiles, you can't even say that about them because they're LGBTQ. So it's a nice thing for them to hide behind. It's almost like they're saying, look, pedos, come over here and we've got a method of you accessing
a nice
children.
Safe space for you.
Yeah.
I mean, you literally, I know ma'am that he is a pedo, but you can't call him that because he is gay.
Yeah.
I'm like, right, don't care.
Yeah. That's exactly right, actually. The vile slur. I love Pink News. They write like the most extreme things. The vile slur, which conflates LGBTQ identities with paedophilia, has been increasing online and has now been banned by Reddit as hate speech.
It's not the footage that does that. It's the slur that does that.
It's not the criminal convictions that do that. But what I love about this is it seems like a big self-report. Anyway, one journalist explained that they enforce the hate speech policy on content that utilizes the groomer libel. So what if we just say about people who are actively grooming? Like, you know, the previous one we saw in the Washington Examiner. Anyway, so the journalist was always like, now it's your move, Twitter, as in expecting Twitter to now ban the G word as well. That'd be interesting. There are, of course, activist groups against LGBT and grooming, such as one group called Gays Against Groomers, which is actually really hilarious because it's like it's like, you know, a bunch of like California gays who are like, you know, they're like, you know, sort of funny, snappy things, but just against the grooming stuff. And they're just like, no, this is disgusting. you weird pedo, stop it. Not in my name sort of thing. And it's good for them. More power to them. Let's hope they carry on. But they make a good point. They say we stand firmly against Reddit's decision to censor the word groomer from their platform as an anti-LGBT slur, equating the
we're
word
not groomers.
Yeah, exactly. We're not groomers, so why are you calling us groomers? Exactly right. Equating the word groomer as an inherently anti-LGBT slur asserts that LGBT automatically implies groomer, which is an insult to the millions of us within the community who strongly oppose the sexualization and ideological indoctrination of children. By banning this word from their platform in such terms, Reddit has not only inadvertently expressing their support for the grooming and abuse of children, but also paints our community as a whole as those who support and engage in it. We find that reprehensible and offensive, which is a great statement. Completely agree.
I also love just the historical narrative here, because like the push for homosexual toleration or acceptance has always been pushed for by groups, and then we've got to the point that you might think, oh, okay, the Christians might be the opposite version of that, where they're pushing back to try and weaken homosexual acceptance or toleration, and instead it's Reddit and groups like that who are like, yeah, by the way, every gay person also a groomer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the ones actively destroying this, actually quite nice thing we used to have.
Yeah.
And we're trying to keep.
I mean, I personally know quite a few gay people who despise all of this stuff and would doubtless endorse this statement instead. But those people aren't Redditors. They don't use Reddit. We actually have a picture of the average Redditor.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, from actually, no, not even an artist interpretation. This is a forum called Our Average Redditor.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, I mean, just saying, this person's like, don't call me a groomer. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, which version should they go into?
Yeah. God.
Trans rights or human rights.
But definitely, don't look at this guy's search history. Anyway, this has started blowing up nicely, memetically, as it were. If you can get that one up, that's great. And the thing is, right, the trans flag really does have that kind of ominous, childlike quality to it, because it's pastel baby colors. It's like, okay, and now we're not even allowed to call you groomers. It's like, okay. That you're just really making the rod for your own backs here. But Predator is quite a good one, I think, and so I found one and posted one out on Getter. So if you want to go follow me there, but it's a really good way of isolating those people who have untoward motivations. Because obviously you've got gay people who just want to live their lives and be normal. Then you have these weird people who need access to your children because they'll never have children of their own to do whatever they're trying to do with, and that's them. Very nice. But that's actually where I'm going to end that. The links left on the end I forgot to take out, John. Sorry. So, Reddit's banned Groomer because they were like, hey, I resemble that remark.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as the book clubs we do, this one on Douglas Murray's The War on the West. And if you want to follow what else I'm putting out, you can follow me on Getter at Callum on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.